Demario Davis and Derek Carr on the field post-Bucs win with Erin Andrews. According to the title here, today we said enough from Demario Davis. Happy New Year. This is being filmed the morning after, the day before the first video of 2024. Didn't mean that to rhyme. Most people take a holiday on January 1st. Not me, not the king of content. Let's go ahead and listen to the post-game interview and do all the reacting.
Love this. Derek Carr, Demario Davis joining me right now. Coach had said to us this week, we just need all three phases of our game to click, and it seemed like it did today. Can we talk about...
We've kind of talked about that before, where the Saints, specifically Dennis Allen, like to say that they need basically perfection. They need the offense to work, the defense to work, the special teams to work, the running game to work, the passing game to work, the pass rush to work, and they kind of shoot for that. And they want that to happen to win. We've used the metaphor of the whack-a-mole. You know, Dennis Allen seems to be always playing whack-a-mole. If the passing game shoots up, he wants to knock that down. But if the running game shoots up, he all of a sudden tries to knock that down. You know, he wants perfection. He wants everything to be firing, which is a good goal. Obviously, you definitely want to be firing in every facet of the game. But in the NFL, you have to find ways to win despite every facet not really working. Now, in this game, they were. In this game, the Saints dominated the Buccaneers defensively. They had an efficient offensive game. They got up to a 20-0 lead, so they weren't asked to do too much. And special teams was fine as well.
About the defense first, an impressive turnaround after what we saw against the Rams on Thursday. Why? What happened against a hot Bucs offense?
Man, firstly, just praise God. Praise God. Man, our coach challenged us this week, and It was like we came in and we said, man, you got to speak to your storm. When we jumped on this thing, we got in the boat for the season, and we was looking straight ahead. We knew our destination. And then the storm came, and we had all kind of things happen to us. But you got to speak to your storm.
Sometimes in life, you got to speak to your storm. You know what I mean? Do I know exactly what that means? No. Was I prepared for this metaphor? I was not. Demario Davis, if speaking to the storm gets us to the playoffs, if speaking to the storm gets us to the division title, good. I wish they would have spoke to the storm weeks ago. And I wish they would have told the storm, James has an enormous bet on over 9.5 regular season wins. And I wish the storm would have responded, okay, well, we probably don't need to blow the Minnesota game or the Green Bay game or the Atlanta game after Thanksgiving or the Tampa Bay game in the Dome. I wish the Storm would have been engaged verbally a little earlier because, nothing against the Storm, but we're a little late to the party, a little late to this conversation. So I do, hey, look, no hate. I'm glad we're talking to the Storm, but would have loved for it to be before my over 9.5 regular season win bet became a very expensive coaster.
You got to speak to it and tell it to move. And today we said enough. We said we're gonna have our clarity, we're gonna have our consistency, and we're gonna have our confidence. And we went out and put it on display, and it was in all phases, so it was a lot of fun out there.
And you kind of said that to us in so many words. Offense has been through a lot this year. What did you like about the way your guys played today, especially when you lost Alvin there in the second half?
Yeah, I just love our unity. This is a team game, and we knew that they were going to show up, and we knew we were going to show up and give it everything that we had. When you have leaders like Demario, Cam, T, E, we have.
I mean, we are really looking at the power of positivity here. What I liked about the offense was that we kind of moved pieces around. What I liked about the offense was some creativity, getting different people involved. I liked, being creative, pushing the ball, being proactive. In the recap and reaction video, we took a look at some of our failed, and boy, there were a lot of examples, failed first possession of the games. In those possessions, we weren't proactive. We were running the ball 3 out of 4 downs, then punting. We were getting sacked. We were doing nothing. We were just kind of in a shell and clammed up. That's when the Saints are at their worst offensively, is when they shell up, clam up, they get into the super conservative kind of play calling. It's almost like they're terrified to make a mistake. It's that like they're terrified to use the middle of the field. They're terrified to throw an interception. They're terrified to call a play that might not work. So when they do that, that's when we see the Jamal Williams runs on first down. That's when we see Derek Carr taking these huge dropbacks. Not his fault. That's usually just the play. Like 3rd and 10, they're calling a play where he's got to take these huge dropbacks. He ends up getting sacked because obviously the defense is sending pressure on 3rd down and the offensive line is terrible. This possession was the opposite. This possession, we saw Derek Carr opens up, throwing to Juwan Johnson. We see Alvin Kamara getting the ball. We see Derek Carr throwing short routes to Chris Olave to get some yak on 1st and 2nd down. We see all of that happening. We see every facet of our offense. The Saints are a team where they don't have one big-time playmaker like Minnesota. Minnesota has Justin Jefferson. The goal of their offense is to get Justin Jefferson the ball as much as possible so that he can dominate because he's a special player. The Saints don't really have that. Even Chris Olave isn't really that guy. He's not that volume receiver. What the Saints need to do is figure out how to use all of their weapons, because we have a bunch. We have much more depth, weapon-wise, playmaker-wise, than most offenses, I would say. The Saints are at their best when they're using the breadth of their offense, all of their playmakers, all of their weapons. When they're using all of them, Alvin Kamara, Taysom Hill, Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, Juwan Johnson, all those players. I'm not saying you have to get them touches on every single possession. But when we go a whole half or a whole quarter or 2 possessions or 3 possessions, and Kamara doesn't have a catch, Olave doesn't have a target, Rashid doesn't have a target, when we start doing that, that's when we get into trouble. And you're going to say, whoa, James, hey, pal, we would never do that. We would never go a whole half or a whole possession without those players getting targets. We have had full games this year, Green Bay stand up, where Rashid Shaheed did not have a target. We have gone whole halves, I believe Green Bay, where Chris Olave didn't have a target. We have gone whole games, I believe, was it Chicago? I think it was Chicago, where Michael Thomas did not have a target nor reception. So it happens more than you think. The Saints are successful and could have been successful offensively this year, because we kind of have to talk in the past tense with a lot of this, because I'm still holding firm that there's absolutely no way Pete Carmichael is back next year. My God, the amount of blood pressure medicine I will be ingesting if Pete Carmichael is back, my face will be beet red in every video. But the Saints could have had success this year if we would have had that identity. We have said over and over and over and over again, the Saints lack an identity. The identity should be spread it out, get the ball to all these different playmakers, and let them work. That's the identity. When we're just trying to run the offense, 0-0 game, first possession of the game, whatever, we're dumping to Kamara. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. He can catch the ball as a wide receiver. Oop, now we're throwing the ball to Chris Olave. Oop, now Taysom Hill's running the ball. Oop, now Taysom Hill's catching the ball. Oop, now Taysom Hill's throwing the ball. Right? Oop, now we're getting the ball to our tight ends. Oh, now we're just running Alvin Kamara or Jamal Williams, whatever. We have all these weapons, all these options. We put ourselves at a disadvantage by taking a very complex roster with a ton of moving pieces, and we shrunk it. We shrunk it down into this super simple offense. And that's just not who we are, obviously. I mean, we're a 500 team with the easiest schedule in the NFL. How many times, ladies and gentlemen, if you've been watching this channel, how many times have we talked about on 3rd down, Pete Carmichael or Dennis Allen or whoever's making these decisions, take Chris Olave, Alvin Kamara off the field? We've seen that, where we're doing the opposite of what I'm saying in this video. We're not making this complex, playmaker-heavy offense. We're removing those pieces on 3rd downs. We're taking them away. We're taking Kamara off the field. We're taking Chris Olave off the field. We're taking Rashid Shaheed off the field. So I know I've been reading the comments. A lot of people are upset that it's taken this long for the offense to figure itself out, this long for the identity to be found out. And I'm right there with you. I've heard a lot of people say I'm apathetic. Word of the day. I'm apathetic to this win. I'm apathetic to this performance. And as much as you hate to say that, that is a reality for fans. Now, will Dennis Allen and Pete Carmichael be back next year? My God, I hope not. Okay. But Derek Carr will be back. I would assume Alvin Kamara is going to be back. I would assume Chris Olave is going to be back. I would assume Taysom Hill is going to be back. So if that's the case, maybe we can take this idea that, okay, we're seeing what works. And look, guys, this isn't the 07, 08, 09 Patriots. This isn't the greatest show on turf. All right? We didn't have a running back go over 60 yards. What Derek Carr finished with, 230 yards or something, maybe? So I'm not sitting here saying this is the best offense I've ever seen in my entire life, but this is certainly a step in the right direction by using more weapons and getting more people involved, and hopefully this translates to next season.
So many great leaders and men that just never stop believing, and when you have that plus hard work, these results can happen. So, we've cleaned up a lot of things and we've gotten better through the season. Be a great time to get hot, but job's not done. We got one more.
My guy, would be a great time to get hot. When you're saying these words, you are 10 days removed from basically handing the season over to the Carolina Panthers, because now our hopes and dreams rest with the Carolina Panthers. So it would have been a great time to get hot 10 days ago when we got embarrassed on Thursday Night Football against the Rams. That would have been an ideal time to get hot, or an ideal time to talk to the Storm. Or we could have talked to the Storm, like I said previously, against Green Bay or Minnesota or Atlanta or Tampa the first time. So bit late of a time to get hot. Obviously, we do still have a chance to get to the playoffs. A lot of people are asking how. Win the division by beating Atlanta. Carolina beats Tampa. Or a wild card. We beat Atlanta. Green Bay has to lose to Chicago, which can happen. All right, so a couple options. We have to beat Atlanta, number one. Season's on the line. If we don't beat Atlanta, doesn't matter what happens. The Martians could land on Earth and take over. Doesn't matter. The craziest things could happen in the world. We're not getting to the playoffs if we lose to Atlanta, so we got to take care of business in the Dome.
Absolutely, and you guys know this better than anyone. You said it. There's a lot of football left to be played. You guys still have a shot.
There's a lot of football to be played, and I'm just proud of this guy right here. If you look the last 4 weeks, I bet he's the hottest quarterback in the red zone.
At one point we were like 9 of 10 in the red zone. So Carr, maybe. 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 I'm not going to say he's not, but and that is a big problem for Carr. That has been a problem for Carr in his career. Was the red zone issue. So I'll take anything positive as far as Derek Carr in the red zone.
He's just dialing it up. We get in situational football, man, he's turning it up for us. And, man, when you got a quarterback playing at that level, we're going to be okay. So I'm excited.
And when your defense is playing well, too. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you.
That helps.
Bye, guys.
Look, I'm not going to be negative to start 2024. I like to see this. I'm rooting for the Saints. I'm a Saints fan. I want Derek Carr to be successful. I love Demario Davis. So if these guys are yucking it up, if they're being positive, if they're talking about the Storm and talking about unity and smiling and whatever, fine. I'm okay with that if that gets results. I don't care I don't care if they watch every Joel Osteen DVD there is. I don't care if they are listening to Tony Robbins' motivational speeches when they sleep, as long as it gives us results. Okay? As long as I'm winning bets, as long as I'm cashing tickets, as long as I'm not miserable for 3 hours every Saints game, I don't really care how it happens. Okay? So I know some people are going to be like, this is a little bit cringy. DGAF. Be as cringy as you want as long as you deliver wins. Ladies and gentlemen, happy 2024. Let me know in the comments below. What do you think about this? you think about Derek Carr, what do you think about Demario Davis, what do you think about talking to the storm? Are you talking to the storm this morning? After a New Year's Eve, are you talking to your own storm? Is your storm a bottle of Pedialyte or Gatorade or some ginger ale perhaps, or maybe a couple of Advil, ibuprofen? Are you old school? Do you have the old Steve McQueen hangover cure, which was a raw egg, Worcestershire sauce, and hot sauce put together? I used to do that. That's a good one. Let me know in the comments below. Are you talking to your storm today? I'm filming this early morning after New Year's Eve. Had to ice the bags under my eyes after a late night here in New Orleans. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video. Peace.